everybody. Welcome to another episode of Cape Rugby TV. It's, of course, Wednesday night, and we bring you the very best of the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Big thanks to Hisense, our official technical partner to Cape Rugby TV, and, of course, Factory Shops, SA mobile app, and Score that has come on board with Cape Rugby this season. So big thanks to our sponsors, of course, for joining us and making Cape Rugby TV possible. Joining me on the show this evening, before we get stuck into the activities over the weekend and the fixtures coming up over the Easter weekend, let me introduce you to the panel. We'll start on the far right. Morgan Newman.
How's it, Japes? Thanks for having me.
Nice to have you back.
Yeah, good to be back. Thanks.
Not quite sure where you've been.
Yeah, been away, but yeah, Club Rugby kicks off in a fortnight, so yeah, ready to go.
Also joining us, Ishmael Dolly, the Groot Kokkedoor at Milnerton. Hello, Ish.
Hi, JP. Good to be back on the show. Lots to talk about.
And then, of course, the real Groot Kokkedoor from Western Province Rugby, the General Manager of Club Rugby, Faisal Felton.
Thanks a lot, Japes. Good to be here.
Nice to have you. Yeah, we can find out all about the ins and outs of the league that's coming up. It's going to be interesting talking to you. I suppose a couple of new developments, but every year it's getting bigger and bigger.
Yes, definitely lots to talk about. Each season it's growing. I think Club Rugby is really taking off.
Yeah, definitely. Right, folks, so let's get stuck straight into it. Then, of course, we went out over the weekend to the Milnerton annual Milnerton Rugby Day. It was Milnerton up against Kuilsriver. A lot of people went out there over the weekend to support the cause for Operation Hydrate. It was a great game and lots of excitement, as it always is at Milnerton's annual Rugby Day. Let's check some of the highlights. Super League A side, maybe the score there 38-12. Is that how did you imagine it to go this way?
Personally not, considering this is the first time we've ever beaten them. But I think we cannot look too much into these games. It's pre-season games, and Season only starts next week, and that's when it really counts.
Morgan Newman, let me bring you into the picture here. Ishmael Dolly smiling there like a Cheshire cat. I'm not going to, I can imagine. Faisal Felton also got a massive smile on his face. Yeah. But Morgs, let's take Ish out of the picture then. It's pre-season, it's a friendly. I know he's playing the card there of you can't read too much into the game. But is that the case for these kind of friendlies when you're 2 weeks away from the first league game?
Yeah, look, I think it's easy for Ish to say not to read too much into it, but if you consider, I think Kales will be a little bit worried, You don't want to, Super League B side, you never want to go down to Super League B side being in Super League A. And whether it's a pre-season friendly or whether it's, league, there's still a lot that, if the players play according to their structures and do the right, play the right moves and all that kind of stuff, then you really do expect Kales to win that game. So I'm extremely surprised by the result. And I think Kales will be extremely worried. And I think, Isha and Milnerton can really take a lot from that game and go positively into the game. I think into the league, sorry. I think winning is a culture that you got to grow from the preseason friendlies. And no team wants to lose that game.
Well, you said it just a few weeks ago, that how important it is for a team to be looking for a tougher team to play in friendlies.
Yeah, well, I think Ish chose the perfect game. I think we would have, Ish, a Super League A team. A lot of Super League B teams are playing Super League A teams because that is where they want to be, and if they if they want to be there, then they got to be able to compete at that level. And clearly, Unimil can take a lot of heart from that and positive, going into Super League B, knowing they can compete at Super League A with Super League A teams.
Ish, how did you, just from a selection point of view, why Kales River? When you guys choose your friendlies, how do you go through the process of looking for your friendlies?
Okay, so we've built up a relationship with Kales River over the past couple of years. This is our fourth year in consecutive years that we're playing them. So we've built up this sort of friendship and relationship where next year we'll be maybe playing away. So this is annual sort of a fixture pre-season, and hopefully we can build it throughout the couple of years coming ahead. They've also contributed significantly to the Operation Hydrate campaign, which we'll touch on later on in the show. But this is a relationship that we've built up over the past couple of years. So it's sort of preset early in the season. Already, we just make contact. Are we up for this for the season game? Where we're playing, and it's just mere formality.
Faisal, let's bring you into the picture here. There's been quite a lot of pre-season friendlies. What is the general procedure when it comes to club rugby and clubs who want to play friendlies? Are these events endorsed by Western Province? Because a lot of clubs out there organising friendlies. What's the general protocol?
Look, from our side, as long as the approval is obtained from the union, union obviously we don't have any objections in terms of teams playing each other. As Ish said, a lot of the clubs have built up relationships over the years, so it's become an annual derby, in terms of matches being played in that day. But I think generally speaking, the union encourages friendly matches in terms of preparation for the season ahead. Not only on the field but also off the field as far as administration and getting everything in place, before the season starts.
Is this also obviously an opportunity for you guys to give the referees, touch judges and that a run as well?
Yeah, definitely, JP. I think with the new setup, it's not only the teams, it's also the referees in terms of getting game time, and also from an administration point of view, making sure admin is in place as well.
All right, folks, let's take a look now at the second half highlights from the match, Union Muller against Kales River. Right, folks, welcome back. Ish, let's talk a little bit about the rugby itself. Looking at the footage there, it looked to me like most of the footage, certainly that we captured at the time, was backline footage. There was a lot of running, a lot of stepping. I'm almost getting the feeling that the sevens has started to play an impact on the style of the friendlies. But what are you as a coach pulling out of this game in terms of the way that your backline is playing? Some of the balls were not going to hand. There were a couple of forced errors. Kicked the ball that went straight into touch. What are you pulling out of this game?
Well, it's as I said, this is the time of the year when you sort of iron out your mistakes and you give sort of players carte blanche to have a go and see and play the situation. The league is obviously coming in the next couple of weeks, and you want to try all combinations. You want to give everyone an opportunity. So you're going to have this sort of laissez-faire approach with regards to chucking the ball around.
Laissez what?
Laissez-faire.
Laissez-faire, okay.
And Kaizer are obviously very renowned for their sevens type of style of playing. We've also revolutionized and transformed the way we've played, just in terms of backing our guys and sort of equipping them with tools to sort of play a very quick and fast game.
So let's be a little bit more critical. Morgs, what would you say if you're looking at that game? If you and let's play both sides of the cards now, because Ish is not going to do it. Let's be hard and fair. If you look at the game there, what would you say Milnerton should be looking to be improving on?
It's a difficult one. I think, to be honest with you, I think that.
You don't have to hold back just because.
I won't hold back, but to be brutally honest, if I look at the way the style that Milnerton are trying to play, and I look at the management staff that Milnerton have, then Ish was an extremely skillful player. The same with AD, and I think they're encouraging their players to throw the ball around. So I think, look, preseason games are there for players to take the odd risk. The 50-50s is probably at this stage of the season being encouraged to be thrown. But come the league, I think, they'll quickly make a transition into, right, the 50-50s are no longer just being thrown. I think maybe throw the 60-40 and not the 50-50 anymore. And I think that from what I've seen in the highlights, I think that the 50-50s were thrown and some went to ground, some went to hand. Yeah. But that's going to happen, I think come the league, like I said, the 60-40 will now be encouraged to be thrown, and the rest will, the 50-50
make sure you pass the stick.
Exactly. So, yeah. But it's great to see. I mean, a super B side.
So are you saying that if Milnerton needed help, you're able to come out and help?
Listen, I think if you look at I think they've got extremely skillful coaching staff. So I'll probably can
on
learn
a
from
coaching
them.
front or playing front?
I can learn from them.
Faisal, let's bring you into this. You're a former front ranker. I was just leading to the back row there, the backline play. Are you a little bit disappointed that we didn't see more front play there?
Yeah, I think from my side, Japes, when we played in the Super League, I think that's possibly the difference between the Super League A and the Super League B club. In the Super League B, you find the guys tend to throw the ball around a lot. Yeah. In the Super League A, there's a balance between the forwards and the backs in terms of taking the ball up. I wouldn't say a lot more structure, but especially there's that balance. In the Super B, I found the ball is thrown around. It's a lot more freedom in that. And from my side, a lot of the clubs we talk about 2 weeks ago, I think last week was the last. A lot of the guys are resting this weekend, and basically the next match you're playing is the start of the season. So you would want to go in, with sort of your game plan in terms of, come
forwards
2nd of April, forwards and backs, that combination and that there. Because I think if you look at your clubs in Super League A, I wouldn't say top clubs in that they've got the balance, the forwards and the backs in terms of throwing it around and that. Yeah. So yeah.
All right, folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back, we'll of course be taking a look at some of the competitions. We'll be back with you in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV Wednesday night. Keep shifting off my chair here. Right, Cape Rugby TV, we bring you the very best of Western Province Club Rugby. For those of you then, of course, that entered the Hisense competition and you still want to win for yourself the Hisense Infinity Pulse LTE cell phone, then all you need to do is go to our Facebook page and tell us who is the official technical partner of Cape Rugby TV, and you can win a Hisense Infinity Pulse LTE L682 with KitKat Android 4.4-inch screen, a multi-touch screen at least, 4G LTE dual SIM and 8 megapixel rear camera with a LED flash and 5 megapixel of course, got 16 gigs of ROM, and I know that what Morgan Newman really likes to do is the fact that Morgan just went traveling recently, so you could have used both SIM cards in your phone.
Yeah, no, James, I'd love to give it a bash. So if there's anyone up for grabs there, feel free to swing it my way. I'll be able to I'll tell you next week all about it.
So you would have put your South African SIM card in the one slot, and then your international.
Exactly.
Because you're a jet setter of international standard now.
Yes, I don't know. Is Joburg, do you need a different signal in Joburg, or how does it work?
No, well, I hear that there's a suit maker in Thailand that's apparently got you.
Oh,
beat.
yeah, rumor has it there is. So one day when you ask me to come formal, I'll be kitted out, don't worry.
We did ask you to come formal.
This is my formal attire, golf shirt. I'm not like Faisal, I mean.
Congratulations then to last week's Hisense winner, Clinton Ross. Clinton, congratulations. You walk away with a Hisense Infinity Pulse cell phone, and one of the guys from Cape Rugby TV will be in touch with you shortly, as you can come and collect your Hisense Infinity Pulse cell phone.
James, if he doesn't collect it in time, feel free to.
If he misses the deadline,
I'll be here to collect it
sharp
as soon as you tell me.
All right. If you can arrive in your suit, we'll consider it. All right, folks. Union Mill was, of course, up against Kels River, and as usual, we caught up with a couple of post-match interviews there. We spoke to Ishmael Dolly, who is happening to be sitting right next to me at the moment, and we also caught up with Coach Eddie Taron, who, according to rumour, will never retire.
Yeah, very happy with the result. I think to beat a Super A side, it's no easy feat, and we'll really take some confidence out of this match. In saying that, we got a lot of things to work on, especially discipline. We had 1 or 2 cards, so we need to make sure that we touch up on that. Great test for us. Just the style and the way Kales River played. Very frenetic, very quick, very fast, and that's what we'll face in Super B. I'm sure they have their preparation sorted out for the league, but we're focusing on ourselves, and I'm sure it will be a very good season for us. Our goals, I'll keep to myself and the team. We'll discuss that midway or halfway through the end of the season.
Yeah, definitely happy. It was hard, the sun out there, but we had two hard losses, and we wanted to take some momentum into the league. Yeah, look, we played Brackenfell and UCT, and it was both good tests. We came out and we had some momentum going in, but we knew we had to get a win under the belt before we got to the season, and I think we've done that. Look, they're a good club. Super A is our other league, and we're aiming to be there, so it was good to see how we can compete against Super A clubs. Look, I think we gave the backs enough good go-forward ball. They didn't do enough with it, so I'll have a talk with Ish. I think he can work on some of it. All honesty, I think we've done some good. We've got some good foundation with the forwards. We've got some awesome backs this year. As long as we give them the ball in the forwards, I think we can do some damage.
Eddie Taron, Ishmael, he's certainly one of your stalwarts at Milnerton.
Definitely one of the leaders of the team. Has been at the club for many a year. Players look up to him, coaches look up to him, and he leads from the front, and that's what you want from a captain.
All right, folks, the other gentleman that we spoke to there was Mark Willard, and of course Captain Evan Swartboy from Kales River.
Yeah, I would say positive is, I think we're getting there slowly but surely, where fitness is concerned. We're using the friendlies, to build combinations. I'm not happy today because it's not the result that we expected, but it's still early days, so you don't want to jump to unnecessary, conclusions. And the main thing is we must fix it on training, and come back stronger. Wednesday night we're having our last friendly, so looking forward to that one. Yeah, we're playing Kraaifontein at home, and Wednesday night, so. Yeah, that is obviously, as I said, the last one for us. Looking forward to that one, and that will take us to our first league game, the 2nd of April against Bella. Yes, we will definitely be ready. I'm positive at this stage. It won't happen overnight. Rugby is patience, and I'm quite happy with our progress. We will definitely be ready for that one against Bella coming the 2nd.
Yeah, definitely not a good day at the office for Kales River. We came out here to set to make things right. According to our results, the previous week things didn't go well. Obviously, this week we tried to improve on the previous week. Unfortunately, today against Milnerton, things went horribly wrong for us. We didn't keep to our structures. Our tackling was, I must admit, was appalling, and just a lot of introspection that we need to do from a Kuilsriver side. But well done to Uni Milton. I think they played extremely well. So I'm sure if they perform like this, they will do well in the Super League B. Positives, well, I would say we gave a couple of new guys an opportunity to play. Obviously when you have new players, that means new combinations, and some of them played. I think they did well. So obviously when you got new combinations, you guys still need to find each other. So I think in that regard we did well.
Now, I did apologise to Mark Willard at the side of the field on Saturday for saying that he was the backline coach at Kuilsriver. He's, of course, not the backline coach. He's the technical advisor, according to the script today. But who knows? Maybe next week I'll find out that he's got another position at Kuilsriver. Mark Willard, of course, highly experienced coach, and I'm sure he's going to bring a lot of value to Kuilsriver during the 2016 season. Right, folks, let's take a look at some of the other results from the weekend, the friendly results, and I think this is where we're going to have a rather interesting discussion. If we look at Milnerton against Kuilsriver, of course we know the results there already. 38 points to 17 win for Kuilsriver, over Kuilsriver at least. Hands and Hearts beating Tygerberg 30-29, and Elsies beating St George's 17-15. Belleville 26-17 over Primrose, and George, well, 19-17 win for them over Brackenfell. Morgs, let's bring you into the picture here. Hands and Hearts beating Tygerberg by 1 point. We got a string of Super League A teams here losing to Super League B teams. Is it, I know I'm going to ask this question, is this a question of guys just playing running rugby? Because if you look at a team like Hands and Hearts and going, called what Faisal was saying earlier on about forwards and the difference between Super League A and the Super League B, but is this a question of if you're going to play loose rugby, a team like Hands and Hearts is going to punish you?
Yes, it's a difficult one. I think I think to be honest with you, maybe Super League A teams are trying a few combinations, whereas Super League B teams know what they're up against. They know they're up against tough opposition, and they're obviously fielding their strongest team as we near the start of the season. Alternatively, is it the place of complacency in Super League A teams? But running rugby does prevail, and I know that in Super League A it's a lot more structured. And sometimes with structure comes structured defenses, structured lineouts. And then you come up against Super League B team who like to throw it around. And when your structures, players are out of their comfort zones in terms of structure, sometimes you can see things go wrong. And that's possibly what could also be happening. But look, I think everyone finds a different way of preparing, and some coaches like to try different combinations till the start of the season. Others like to have a settled combination 2 or 3 games before the season starts. And who knows?
I mean, if we just look at that, Elsies beat St George's. St George's is a team that Faisal's just come down from Super League A. They come down to Super League B. Elsies is not a Super League A team. There's another team that you would have expected that would have taken a win there.
Yeah, definitely. I think St George's, especially after last week's win against Kuilsriver and that there, you would expect them, to put points on the board against Elsies and that there. Yeah. But again, I always say on the day, any team, is tough, and any team can beat any any other team on any given day. That was quite a shock and surprise from my side.
Belleville 26-17 over Primrose. Belleville, they're of course a Super League B side. So there's a Super League B side, but actually, in fact, with their experience in Super League A beating Primrose, you would have expected a good result from Belleville.
I think Super League A sides, they set the benchmark, and they the sort of benchmark that Super B teams would like to strive for. And when they're testing themselves against the very best, Super League B teams are always going to give it their best shot. Maybe the Super A League teams are sort of letting their guard down and maybe not psychologically or motivated to do it so well, but Belleville is an experienced side. They've been in Super A for many years.
Faisal, you're a former Primrose player. What do you make of Primrose this year? Some development in the youth.
Yeah, I think from Primrose's side, the approach has changed a bit. They're focusing more now on the juniors. As you know, Primrose got quite a very good, strong junior structure. The challenge, I think, in the past years has been the link between the junior setup and the senior setup. And I think this year, the approach has been a lot more different in terms of trying to utilize a lot more of the youngsters, bringing them through, as opposed to going outside, and looking for players and that there.
As a poach.
As a poach, yeah, there is a bit of poaching. But let's talk about this poaching thing, because we sort of spoke about this earlier on. That
Ishmael
some of
Dolly
the,
is very good at that.
what's that?
Ishmael, you will do so well because Ishmael Dolly is very good at that.
You gotta have an eye for detail.
You got to have eye for detail. Well, I've often thought that nowadays the best coach is not necessarily the guy who can coach the best, but he can find the best players. If it's a club, and can you keep them there? So, coaching skills. How do you measure a coach today? Do you measure him because he's a good coach or because he's got a big checkbook? Easy to go. Or is he a good agent? So maybe you're a good coach because you put on a good braai vlees. Could be a lot of things. Incidentally, if you want to win yourself a lekker braai pack, courtesy of Factory Shop's SA mobile app, and then you can win yourself a lekker set of braai tools, courtesy of TJ's Braais. That's coming up a little bit later in the show. But yes, let's move back to that now. What came up in the conversation here during the ad break was the fact, Faisal, do you think some of these players, some of the coaches or teams at least, are knowing that the cutoff date, if I got it correct, was the 12th of March?
Yes, that's correct. I think a lot of the teams are, as Morgan said, are playing around in terms of utilizing our players and that. And from an admin side, I would say a lot of the guys are using the 12th of March as sort of a way of securing a lot of the players. Because as you know, the rule is if you play for a club and you register with the club on the 12th of March, you're sort of bound to that club.
Even in a friendly
match, yeah. 3 weeks before the season starts. The cutoff is 21 days prior to the season start. If you play for a club, you're bound to that club. The rule is there in terms of preparation from the coach's side to ensure that planning is done, and you don't want players to leave a week before season start. You're finding guys unhappy leaving a club. So
let me just interrupt you. How does it work? If you were registered in 2015 with a club, are you still registered with that same club in 2016?
Yeah, you still activated from the club. You'll be active for the 2016 season. But the moment you play a match, then you're bound to that particular club. Prior to the 12th of March, if you played for a club, you still got time to decide whether you still want to stay with the club or whether you want to move on.
Can you
come
move
the 12th of March,
like let's say it's January. Can I move from Hamiltons to Villages?
Yes, you can move.
Yeah. That's of course depending on.
Not going to happen.
Not gonna happen.
It's not going to happen.
Well, it depends. I mean, because if I want to go play rugby for the right reasons, then would I be able to go?
Having said that, I'm available, and Ish can still bring out the checkbook.
So you are available.
I'm available. I haven't played for Hamilton since the 12th
As I said,
of March.
it's about the coach has got the biggest checkbook.
So if you want to, we can talk after the show. No problem.
So
No problem.
Ish, how big is your checkbook?
Not very big, eh?
Not very big.
So there is a checkbook.
At least he put his foot in that thing.
Faisal, I think that's a Faisal hit the nail on the head there. Faisal, how many coaches claim that they don't pay players?
Yeah, I think
Everyone
claims not to play in that, and I think it's becoming a bit of a challenge. I think from the union side as well, because it's not only the coaches, it's also the players that are sort of playing the clubs and that in terms of movement and that in terms of what's being paid. And from the union side, we are looking in terms of trying to create sort of a leveling the playing fields and that in terms of players and that. I mean, if you look at club rugby, I always say it's big. We've got 13,500 active players. We've got 3,500 new players every season. So there's an abundance of players. It's just a matter of where the guys go, where they register, where they're playing in it.
James, just a question: is there a problem with players being paid? I understand it's an amateur sport, and we'll never go away from that. But if you look at the reason I ask is because you look at the French leagues. The French leagues are owned by individuals. So the Oak are the biggest checkbook as the best players.
Well, I'm not going to allow Faisal to answer that question. What I'm going to do is I'm going to answer that question. Is it a problem for players to get paid? I think that what my approach to this, and having done community sport now for a very long time, is that we have to understand and remember the core reason for why a club exists. And the core reason for why a club exists is to serve the community. It's not there to turn players into professionals or give them a living. It's to serve the community. And this is where many of the clubs have gone a little bit of a way, or somehow there's crept in this measurement of money and no money. I don't think that's the point. I don't think that's really, shouldn't be the issue anymore. A club can serve the community in several different ways. So if they play or don't play, it doesn't really matter, as long as the club is geared to serving the community.
But the question is, what is a community?
What is a community? A community is the
club.
environment within your proximity.
And what's the service?
Yeah.
Well, the service is to enhance the lives of the people in the community around you.
But then paying them is
So if you
is
go
enhancing
back,
their lives, isn't it?
and I've used this in some of my lectures, if you go, and I don't know if the viewers are interested, but if you go back 10,000 years, 10,000 years ago, people used to get together to survive in a tribe, and then they used to have to hunt together as a tribe to feed the tribe, to keep the tribe alive. And they would get together at the nearest tree, for example, and then they would go on their hunt. And from that would be a gathering place. So essentially, that would be their club and their clubhouse. And from there, it grew and grew and grew.
Would it be
So
frowned upon? Would it be frowned upon then if a guy came along and said, "Here's heaps of cash, go and
Send him
Make
to
a
me.
great
Send him
team.
to me.
Heaps
No,
of
but-
cash to who? To the club
to
or
the club"? Would that be? I'm
Not at
asking
all.
now.
I mean, that's
I'm asking
exactly
out
what we want. We need benefactors. We know that government hasn't got money for clubs anymore. Lotto is very
So it
slim
wouldn't
on
be
it.
frowned upon if
No,
somebody did
absolutely not. Every club needs benefactors, but most importantly, you want communities to look after themselves within their community. So I think we must get away from this measuring of how we get to a result. You get it through money, or you get it through poaching, or you get it through hijacking players from one. It's irrelevant. What you want to do is make sure the club's core existence remains in place. I think that's the
And that
important
doesn't
thing.
change.
And that doesn't change.
And obviously the identity of the club, what it stands for, that has to be intact.
Yeah.
All the other glitz and glamour can happen, but as soon as that identity is bedrocked in that DNA of the
Yeah,
club, then
We complain about money here and money there and that, but at the end of the day, when you walk away and you go home, it's 9 o'clock at night on a Saturday, and you ask yourself, what did I accomplish today, with or without the money? Well, the fact is that you put 90 kids or people through a game, you took them away from a bad environment, you let them have a game of rugby, they learned a little bit about socializing, they learned a little bit of respect, and whether those players were being paid or not on the day, at the end of the day, you walk away knowing that you've achieved the result. And
So there are certain clubs that are. I mean, so there are clubs that are getting it right
definitely,
with money.
I
But
mean,
those, I'm talking clubs with money and clubs without.
well, yeah, and in my opinion, and I can bring Faisal into this, is that my opinion is that what you've got is you've got an effective organisation, the Western Province Rugby Football Union as a federation, and that's why they were have been in the past the Federation of the Year in South Africa, certainly in the Western Cape. So if you look at what's happening there, we've got a very active, well-structured club system, and clubs is what feeds sports organizations. So I could go into this for hours and hours, probably, and bore everybody out there with my tales, regaling my tales. But yes, it's working. It's certainly working. And I think if to go one step further, it's working even with additional extensions, such as Faisal and his Hubs program, the school kids getting involved in those schools kids feeding into the club system. So yeah, Morgs, I think we must move away from this thing about worrying about money. If a club can pay, let them pay.
Yeah.
But
As
I
long
think
as they get to a result.
Yeah, but I think you also got to realize, I mean, if I look at the Hubs program, there's always a balance between, club a player gifted or, pupil gifted in the classroom and a pupil gifted on the sports field. And what we're finding, especially at club rugby, a lot of the guys are dependent on that little bit of an income that they get on the weekend. So for them, that's a survival and that and they're using, sport as an advantage to put food on the table for a lot of the players.
The reason I asked is just purely because, in this club rugby, money is still spoken about sort of under very sheepishly, and it doesn't need to be.
No, it doesn't need to be. We do latch onto that, and people. That's why I say people need to stop comparing results. If you get to a result at the end of the Saturday and you've had a successful club rugby club organisation that serves the community, whether you've gotten there through money or not, you've just found a different way to do it. Yeah. Folks, we're going to have to go into an ad break now. Incidentally, if you want to win yourself a braai grid, a braai tong, a pack of wood, and a pack of blitz and charcoal, courtesy of TJ's Braai, then you need to download the Factory Shops SA mobile app. Download it now and tell us one of the names. You've got to go to Facebook and tell us. Give us one of the names of the factory shops that is listed. Of course, last week, Second Skins was the winner, and Second Skins, at least Second Skins was the voucher, and Second Skins one of the stores. So you can't give us the Second Skins name, and you can't give us TJ's Braai and names as one of the stores. So download, choose any other factory shops. Now, I love this factory shop app because whenever I need to buy something, I just punch in the type of product that I want, whether it's a product or a garment or even the category that I want, and it takes me immediately to the nearest shop. Not even a full list. It immediately indicates for me the nearest shop to me, factory shop. So congratulations then to last week's Second Skins winner, Cameron Isaacs. Cameron Isaacs walks away with a 200 Rand voucher courtesy of a Second Skins. Folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back from the ad break, we'll continue our conversation about player registrations and, of course, the Western Province Rugby launch that is happening next week. And we'll take a look at some of the Easter weekend fixtures coming up this weekend. Big fixtures. Score Energy Drinks, once again, a proud supporter of both of those events. But the big one is over at Blake's. Right, then everybody, welcome back. Yes, Morgan Newman, Faisal Felton and Ishmael Dolly are on the show with me. Ishmael Dolly has said that he has not poached any players and that the registration date has made no difference to him and that he did not deliberate. Yes, you just played your first 15?
Absolutely. If you got your structures in place and your club is what it stands for, you'll attract the players. They'll start coming to you. And that's what you want.
Sure.
Morgan Newman, you say you haven't played any games this year yet.
I haven't played, so I'm available. I've played for Amis, but before the 12th. So
you're still available.
So
He's still available. Okay, all right. All right. So Faisal, just run that by us again. 12th was the cut-off day. What is the date for registrations now? The next period, the next date by which
any player that hasn't played any matches for any particular club and that there is still free to register at a club. The cut-off date for registration is 30th of June.
30th of June. So there's still a lot of time for people out there who want to start playing rugby. For people who've never played rugby before, they watch Cape Rugby, they go, hell, this is exciting. I want to play rugby. They've got until the 30th of June to come and join.
That's correct. 30th of June is the cut-off.
And just one more thing, Joe. So a club cannot withhold a player's registration.
No club.
Release.
Yeah, no club may withhold a player's clearance certificate. The only exception is if a player is under suspension from the union. So if a club is not willing to release a player, it's then for the club to contact the union, and then from our side we will look into the matter and release the player.
Well, I can tell you from my side, if I'm playing at a club, I want to go play for another club. I don't care who says what. I'm going to go. Because you can't tell me if I go gym because I'm doing rugby for another reason. I go there to jaw. You play rugby to win and all that kind of stuff. I need to work on my cardio, so I can either go to gym, and you can't tell me which gym I'm going to go to. So it makes sense, right? That if you want to play in, and what if you move? What if you move from Bonteheuvel across to Fishhook and you want to go play at another rugby? So I'm sure that the union takes all that into account.
And I think, Japes, the rules are there for a reason. In the past you'd have an exodus of players. If a club is not doing well halfway through the season, you find a lot of guys are not happy. They now decide they want to leave and move to another club. Then you're sitting with a club, half a club, not able to fulfill fixtures. In the past, there is a rule in terms of change of employment, change of address. But, we've also got to be mindful this in Western Province is not like Boland where you've got to travel 300-400 kilometers to another club. Within a 50-kilometer radius now, they're still manageable. You're still getting players that stay in Strand that's traveling to Hammies, even from Paarl to Hammies and that there.
All right, let's move on. Coming up this weekend, it's the Young Gardens Sevens tournament. That's happening on Saturday, the 24th of March at Forest Stadium in Paarl. They've got prize money. Speaking about money, they've got prize money. I suppose that's okay. Competitions that have got prize money. And then, of course, Blake's Rugby Football Club Easter Rugby Festival on the 26th and the 28th, kindly supported by Score. There are 16 clubs in the mix there. We'll go through those clubs' names in a second. You can come down and support there. Of course, the gates open at 8 o'clock in the morning. 16 clubs on the 26th and the 28th, kindly supported by Score Energy Drinks. All right, so you've got to get out there and check that out. So that's going to be very exciting. Of course, we had Aubrey Noble on the show with us last week who was telling us about that. So that's this coming weekend, the Blake's Rugby Football Club Easter Rugby Festival. And the teams that will be participating in that, Macassar and Simondium, Young Wesleys and Fora, Young Peoples and Retreat, and Morningstar and Blakes. And then, of course, those first three teams will be kicking off at 10 o'clock. And then it's, more, as I said, Morningstar and Blakes and Blue Stars and Pernille Villages. And Langa and Visanta Kraal. And then finally at 12:45, it's Peninsula and Evergreens that are going to be kicking off there. All right, folks, the other event that is taking over the weekend, and this is happening at Langa, is the other Easter weekend festival. Faisal?
Yes, Japes, Langa Stadium, 23 teams, or at least 23 clubs participating. Clubs from outside of the province also participating. There's women's rugby as well happening on Friday. Juniors playing on Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday, and then the Monday is obviously the finals in it.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 4 days of rugby over at Langa.
Yes, it's lots of excitement.
Well, there's
and
teams
something
from
to
all
look
over the
forward.
country. Yeah?
Teams from all over the country participating. Obviously, a few of the guys from Cape Town also participating. It's something. It's a biannual event that takes place. 1 year it's in Eastern Province, and the following year it's in Cape Town. So it travels.
All right, so with all of these Easter weekend tournaments happening, one of the sponsors that is involved with both sides is, of course, Score Energy Drinks, supporting the Blake's Festival, as well as some of the clubs that are happening or playing at Langa. So get out there. If you're in the Cape Town region, I think the easiest or the closest for you is to the Langa space. And if you're in the Stellenbosch, Idris Valley, or Cloutesville or Blake's area, get down to the Easter Weekend Festival there. Folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the launch of the club rugby season coming up, what the referees are up to, and of course, we'll take a look at the Varsity Cup. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV. Remember, you can find us on Facebook, www.facebook.com/Cape Rugby TV. And don't forget the Twitter handle @Cape Rugby TV or @WP Club Rugby. Both those Twitter handles work extremely well. You just need to get onto Twitter, and don't forget the back channel, #WP Club Rugby, and that helps you keep the information flowing over the weekends. I see already a number of folks have been commenting over the weekends and starting the ball rolling in terms of the social media. Faisal Felton, this coming Tuesday, next Tuesday, 5-6 days time, it is of course the launch of the league. You've got a big launch happening. Number of folks going to be who will be attending?
Yes, Japes, the launch next week, Tuesday, 29th, 7 o'clock, Railway Mall. It will be the referees and the clubs we've invited. I think it's a nice opportunity to kick off the season. Good opportunity also, for referees and clubs to come together and, mix and socialise before the season starts.
It's a great opportunity to see some of the refs. I see some of the refs are already getting out. Jono van der Walt posted something on Facebook about Daniels. I can't remember his first name now. So the referees are coming down to the teams now to engage.
I think it's important for overall fluidity of the game and the betterment of the game. That barrier between referees, players and clubs has closed quite a lot.
Yeah.
And as the clubs, we engaging it, the referees are engaging it, and it's great for overall rugby because the rules changes and referees need to educate the players and the coaches as well as the club in terms of the rules and how they are blown in. That's why clubs, as many clubs, they bring them into their training sessions, and a lot of the training sessions are run by referees.
Morgs, nice to see the refs get involved. Over the years gone by, the refs have taken quite a lot of stick.
Yeah, I think it's been a twofold approach. I think, to be honest with you, I think the referees have come to the party in terms of they've changed their attitude. In the past, I've always felt referees, there was an arrogant approach from a referee's point of view. They came there and were doing you a favor, and it was always that they were put on this pedestal and they were very much sort of in the background. Whereas now, referees are engaging with clubs. They're staying for the after-match function. They're communicating. There's this mini debates that happen after the game about certain calls which happen. And I think this is all a healthy approach to making, because they're part of the entertainment on the day.
But you were also saying how much harder it is to referee a club game than a provincial game.
Yeah, so what I was saying is the fact that, the lower down you go, the more errors that there are, the more a referee's going to see and the more he's going to miss. So, as we spoke about the fact that, a referee in Super League B is a Super League B referee. But it is sometimes harder to ref a Super League B than it would be to referee a Super League A game.
Because if I'm watching TV and I'm watching a Super Rugby game, the less I hear from the referee, the better.
But exactly, and also the less errors there are in reality,
So it's easy.
Exactly. So every error then gets blown. Whereas you need to have a little bit of sympathy towards referees that go lower down, because the lower down you go, the more you've got to let go to have a bit of a flow.
There is no sympathy for referees. Let me just get that clearly out on the table. No club has sympathy for a referee. They need to get their calls 100% correct.
No, but that's absolute nonsense.
That is the problem.
Yeah. We've got to stop that thinking, because
James, the people that do that, I have to say this, the people that do that, give them a whistle and let them come down, because I'm sick and tired of, yes, I also get angry at the referee.
That's Rich coming from him, eh?
Yeah,
this is the guy that chirps the ref all the time.
Listen, I give a referee stick, no doubt. I'm the first one to give a referee stick. But I do think I'm not one. I mean, I'm not one to nail them to the point that that they.
JP, he was the voice of the team, so we'll push him forward, right?
Yeah.
You deal with the ref,
Yes.
You chirp the ref. That's your job.
But I mean, is it also not a reality though that if you are if you're playing a Curry Cup game, you're going to get a Curry Cup referee. If you're playing a Super League A game, you're going to get a Super League A quality referee. A Super League B, you're going to get a Super League B quality referee, as most of the referees are also community, so are club players community. So you cannot expect, in other words, surely it's a question of, if your player is of a certain quality, and he's not playing provincial, and he's not even got a chance to make it into the second team, then your referee is going to be to that standard also. So don't judge your referees at a higher standard than you're going to judge your own players.
Also, as a spectator or coach, you're looking at it from a different perspective. So your view of what you're seeing might be totally different to what the referee is seeing at that particular time, at that particular moment. In saying that, there is no sympathy for referees in club rugby.
Yeah, Faisal.
They've got to get it right.
But there should be. And Japes, you know what? The reason we don't have referees is because of that attitude.
Okay, but we're fixing that now.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
this launch that you got on Tuesday is exactly the kind of thing that helps bring it all together.
I think, Japes, I've got to applaud the chairman of the Referee Society, Joey Solomons, in terms of what he's trying to achieve in terms of bringing the referees and the clubs together in that. And for the last 3 weeks prior to the season starting now, we've had our match commissioners meeting where we've had clubs and the referees together, questioning, giving answers, the one asking the other questions and giving answers and that there. So it's been great. The interaction has been great. I think where we're going is that we want a lot more, togetherness and, everybody speaking the same language on a Saturday and that. So,
All right, folks, let's move a little bit off the club rugby scene, so to speak. It's all action stations, though. If you want to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks, then you need to SMS the word SCORE to 33280, and you win a case of Score. Just SMS the word SCORE to 33280, put you in the mix to win a case of Score. You'll have to collect it here. Congratulations then to last week's winner, Faldi Nakaruddin. Congratulations, Faldi. You win a case of Score. You can come to the Cape Rugby offices and come and get it. All right, folks, one of the guys will be in touch with you, of course. Just a kind reminder then, 33280. Get your Hisense Infinity cell phone, Pulse phone. Download your Factory Shops mobile SA app and go and enter the Score competition, 33280. Let's take a quick look at some of the Super 15 results, or let's go first to the Varsity Cup results, rather. There are a couple of concerns, I would imagine, there for the guys right now. If we look at the results there, the NMMU beating Ikeys 46-33 and Pika lost to Marty's, but a good result for Marty's. Tuks beating CUT and Shimla's beating UJ. But I think the big concern here, of course, for us at home ground-ish, Ikeys battling a little bit.
Absolutely, and my heart goes out to Shimmy. I mean, he must be in a very tough situation where he hasn't got a win under his belt, and it's his first year of Varsity Cup, so I'm really feeling it for him. In saying that, he's got a lot of character, and Ikeys has a lot of character as well, and they'll bounce back.
Marty's, Morgs, Marty's, they are showing their class as usual.
Yeah, great coaching staff there now. Harvey's Fourie from the Cheetahs has come down. So, yeah, Marty's are starting to fulfill their potential again. But remember, we feel sorry for Shimmy now, but remember, Stellenbosch went through this for the last 2 years too. And I think that they now, starting to bounce back. But I'd be more worried if I look at those results. I'm a bit more worried about Shipness. I mean, they won the competition last year to go down to UJ so badly, in the same this week.
Okay, well, you can keep your worries about Shimless yourself. I'm not really worried about Shimless. UWC beating TUT, though, in the Shield, 41 points to 16. That's a great result. Of course, Fort Hare taking a horrible hiding, 97-0. But that's probably like 3 tries. So,
the scoring system, when you're watching these games, the margins are close, and then all of a sudden the guy scores a try from the halfway line, and the margin goes from which used to be 7 is like 9 or 12 or something ridiculous now.
Yeah, all right. Congratulations to our Hisense winner, Clinton Ross. Clinton Ross walks away with a Hisense Infinity Pulse cell phone. Clinton, the guys will be in touch with you, and you can collect your Hisense Infinity Pulse cell phone. And folks, if you want to win yourself that Hisense cell phone, just go to Cape Rugby TV and tell us who is the official technical partner to Cape Rugby TV. Let's take a look at some of the fixtures. Of course, tomorrow at the Cape Town Stadium, Tuks are up against NMMU, Pika take on CUT, Marty's take on Shimla's, and UJ take on Ikeys. That's the Cape Town Stadium. Looking forward to that. Right, Super 15 results. It was a massive win for us over the weekend. Let's quickly take a look at some of the results there. Jaguars went down to the Chiefs, 30 points to 26. The Stormers beating the Brumbies 31-10. The Lions 39-22 over the Cheetahs. The Reds drew with the Blues. The Crusaders beat the Kings. The Sunwolves went down to the Rebels. The Bulls drew with the Sharks. The Waratahs 26-30 against the Highlanders. And the Hurricanes 41-6 over the Force. Quick touch there, Morgs, on a probably a former player and a friend as well of Cape Rugby TV and Western Province Rugby, Joe Peterson. Slots misses it right before the poles. But, I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. The short putts are probably the toughest one to put in.
Yeah, no, I feel sorry for him, but Ish is more in a position to talk about that than me. That angle, Japes, I tell you what, if there's a kick that you got to win the game, I either want it on the corner flag,
Yes.
or I want it dead centre.
Yes.
But just off centre. Yes, the kickers out there well know.
It happens. It happens
happens.
to the best of us. And
It's
I
then
mean,
when you over-concentrate thing.
I don't think so. It just really happens.
Yes.
I mean, Johnny Wilkinson, it happened to Dan Carter. So these things happen, and
All right.
we just got to have some sympathy for Joe. I mean, he slots every single penalty, and then
Of course, the advice that I can give there, though, is if you're a Sharks player.
You're not a big Sharks fan, are you, Japes?
No, I'm not a big. No, I'm getting there now.
I was about it. I check your social media fairly often.
No, I'm about to get into this now.
Yeah, wait for it.
coming
Wait
hard
for it
for
now.
the
Do you
Sharks,
want a
eh?
drum roll? Do you want a drum
Yes,
roll?
you can give me the drum roll. So yes, here's the advice that I have for any Sharks players. If you're a Sharks player, wait until the game is finished before you start celebrating like a wild thing, because as I say, the game is not over until it's over. Literally, until the ball is over. Until such time, suggest you don't celebrate your victory like Bismarck du Plessis did 2 years ago at Newlands, going rather insane. Because it's not over until it's over.
all the way Joe was kicking, you'd expect him to kick that with his eyes closed.
In fact, I think he might have had his eyes closed. But to the Sharks guys, really, tone it down a little bit. In rugby, we like to have to always be humble in victory. So
That's us Stormers, eh?
yeah, So talking about humble in victory, you didn't see the Stormers doing anything of the sort. You didn't see them going absolutely crazy. And
Winning is
they're
a habit. Winning is a
winning
habit
the
here.
Brumbies. I mean, they beat the
here in
Brumbies.
Cape Town, man. The Sharks haven't won for a while, so give them some sympathy.
No, the Sharks. I'm sorry, Sharks don't get any credit from me at all. What at all? I mean, not a chance. But guys, Faisal, you guys, I mean, what a win for the Stormers over the Brumbies, huh?
It's great. I mean, a great win, great for the crowd, great for support. Coming back on the 8th of April, something to look forward to.
Yeah, right, folks. And of course, one of the things we always look forward to is Super Brew. Willie Volker is still at number one.
Still, yo.
He's still at number one. Wheelers, Jan George 123, Michael VD5, Boston, Sharky KZN, French, Kochman, Johan, and William. Those are your top 10 on Super Brew, folks. Remember, you can follow us on the Super Brew pool, participate, and come and join us and see if you can make it into the top 10. There's about 700 people in the pool, but so you might not jump in there. Morgan Newman, thanks for joining us on Cape Rugby TV. We'll hopefully again see you next week.
Always good, James. Hopefully I can win the Hisense phone this week.
Yep, good luck with that. Of course, Ishmael Dali, thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure. Enjoy the rugby from tomorrow all the way through to the weekend.
It's going to be, yes, that's right. Starts tomorrow at the Cape Town Stadium, Thursday, Friday, and then, of course, carries on Tuesday. We've got Monday and Tuesday as well, because Monday we're, of course, got the Easter weekend, and then Tuesday we do the launch, Faisal.
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, Japes, Tuesday, something to look forward to. And also, don't forget, next week Thursday is the Hubs Development Program dinner out at Butcher's Grill in Millie Point. So lots to look forward to.
Looking forward to that at Butcher's Grill in Milnerton, Moody Point. Right, folks, Moody Point, that is. We'll see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.